sticking yourself, and it's not helping you. Let's keep moving on here. Last thing, in terms of like just selecting your site, getting your patient ready, some tricks here. Can y'all still see these slides and everything?
Yep.
So dangling arm over the side of the chair for 1 to 2 minutes. Lillian, what do you think that does? What's going on with your arm and your blood when you do that? How does that make you a better stick? How does that make me see your veins better? I think her internet service is lagging a little bit, and she may not be able to talk back to us. I just didn't want you to feel left out, Lillian. Anybody ever had a toothache or a stub finger or something, and when you get it low, it starts throbbing because blood is in it? Like if you have a toothache and you bend over, it starts throbbing. It's because blood is starting to pool in that area, right? Same thing happens when you get somebody's arm low and it's hanging. That blood is going to be dependent down here. And when that blood is dependent down here, those veins become engorged and you can start to see them because they're more full. So a lot of times if you just let somebody dangle a little bit, like I could probably do this for a second and the veins in my forearm are going to pop out in a second. That's the idea behind it. Tapping it. What does that do? That makes that vein think it's being injured. And when veins initially are injured, they start to scrunch up and spasm. And that's why they pop up more whenever you slap them. Massage the arm from wrist to elbow. You're pushing blood back up into that area. Warm, moist washcloth. Brittany, why is that useful? Why is it useful to put a warm, moist washcloth on it here? What does heat do?
I don't know.
How is heat affecting the blood flow in that area?
Well, I mean, heat makes things expand.
Right. So when it gets too hot, your vessels start to dilate. And what does that do? It brings blood to the surface, right? And so you got more chance of finding a vein there. Make sure they're drinking lots of fluids. That makes a big difference, especially these little old ladies and guys that get dehydrated. And if you're not feeling something awesome, it's not a problem to ask someone to look. Say, you can still be the one to stick them, but you can ask someone else, what do you think about this side? I don't know. I've done that countless times. Okay. Let's talk about.
I definitely think I'm going to need practice before I feel comfortable like sticking a human.
Honestly, if we were in class together, I wouldn't even break out those practice things back there. I think I've told y'all this before. I would just have y'all start sticking each other. You just got to jump in there and start doing it.
Okay, I got you, but I don't know. That's okay, I get it. But I'm just saying, I don't have anybody in my house that's going to willingly let me just stick them for no reason.
I'm going to stick my husband.
I'm going to start lining the kids up for dinner and be like, okay, if you want a plate, sacrifice.
So let's look at the anatomy here. I would make sure I took note here. Hint, hint, hint. Let's use this super cool. Yay. All right, so you got 3 major anatomy points you need to know. You got your basilic vein, which runs on the lateral outside of your arm, on the pinky side. Okay. You got cephalic vein, which runs on the thumb side. I shouldn't have even circled this one. And the other one you really need to know about is the median antecubital. Okay. And so when you're feeling in someone's arm, this is also called the median area here. It's in the middle, the median. This whole site is called the AC, or antecubital site. This is the number one spot you want to go for drawing blood. It's always the top preferred. The second place you're ever going to look for a blood draw is in the dorsal part of the hand. And remember your anatomical position, right? Back of the hand is the dorsal part. You got the same veins down here, but it's just going to be the dorsal side. Third, from that, I would say it'd be forearm. Do you think, well, never mind. I'm not going to say that. What are you eating on, Brittany? Huh?
What?
So what are you eating on?
My favorite? The Cheez-It.
Oh, I love those. Everybody still with me? Hanging in there?
Nope.
Brittany, you look like a creeper looking out the window.
Look, I don't know where my kid is, okay? I told her to stay where I could see her. She has failed to do that.
Y'all want to take a quick break or something?
Turn off my camera because my son came in here nothing but his pull-up.
I mean, I see the other children. Oh, never mind. I see her. They finally came to mow today.
Mode.
They mowed.
So that's about as far as I can go in the actual process of drawing blood. I haven't talked about the equipment yet. We'll get to that in a minute. This chapter slides are kind of screwed up. I'm going to go through the hard part you probably really need to take notes on, and that's what's going on with the actual specimens, okay, and our blood all together. But that pretty much covers everything you need to know. I mean, it would last a lot longer if we were face to face, because I'd be showing you stuff and we'd be trying it out. But I tried to make clear the parts that you really need to focus in on that's going to be coming up on questions and quizzes and stuff. Okay.
And we're going to practice on fruit.
Yeah, that's the next best alternative that they've done in the past and that we've got now. I mean,
I'm just going to practice on my husband.
Yeah, my husband's not going to go for that.
you should probably
Matt does
on
have
fruit.
2 arms. You can just come over here.
Okay, I will definitely practice on fruit first before I come at your husband with the needle.
I mean, it don't matter to me.
I got to send you a tourniquet too. This takes a lot of skill. Nobody can ever figure out how to do this either. Takes a little bit of practice. Not a lot of skill. It takes a little bit of practice. Let's look at page 822. Okay, this is an important part for you. So the parts of blood. We kind of went over this a little bit back in cardiac chapter. It's coming back to haunt you right now. So I'm going to pretend I've got a vial of blood here. Ooh. I'll just draw it like this. How's that? Okay, so this is my little blood tube. When you put blood in a tube, you can let it sit and clot, and you'll get some stuff out of it. But for illustration purposes, I'm going to draw just, maybe I shouldn't use that color. It might be a little confusing. I'm going to draw what it consists of, okay? So say this is filled with blood here. All right. 45% of this sample would be plasma.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. 55% would be what?
I don't remember.
It was called whole parts. Okay. I'm not talking about this picture over here that shows it separated. I'm talking about the whole sample of fluid in this tube. What makes up your blood? If I just took a teaspoonful of blood, what is inside of that teaspoon there? Well, 45% of that is plasma, and the other 55% is the actual physical red cells and whole parts. Did you mute yourself, or did I mute you accidentally?
I muted myself because I was on the phone with my kid.
Okay. So this consists of red blood cells, platelets, things like that. All right. So let's just talk about this half that's plasma. Of this half, okay, 90% of the plasma is water, and 10% is amino acids. Let's see, we got proteins, electrolytes, which is like potassium and our sodium and potassium and calcium and all that stuff. So you need to make sure, like, you notice this one's just slightly smaller than whole parts, okay? If I look at my slide over here, I've got this backwards, so I'm screwing everybody up. Thought that was weird. There we go. Okay. And then the last part of this.
Hey, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
How much longer is this gonna last?
I
My
figured.
little boy just came running through here naked with a jar of peanut butter. And I might need to do that.
Sounds like a personal problem for your boy.
Wow. That's all I can say.
15 more minutes. 15 more minutes.
Camera off.
It sounds like a fun place to be.
It is something. Yeah.
So if I take this 45%, 1% of it, okay, one percent of this is going to be the Buffy coat. and buffy coat, it consists of white blood cells. And you can see that in these slides here. That 1% is of this red, okay? Let's see here. Clotted blood, no mitochondrial tube. I would pay attention to this slide. Serum is important for chemistry tests. What is serum? Everybody know?
Okay, thank you.
Serum is, I'll tell you the answer. Serum is plasma with the clotting factors removed. Hint, hint, hint. Serum is plasma with the clotting factors removed.
There's some kid who is standing her big ass on my car.
Go get her.
Oh my God.
Let me get through this last part here. If you look at page 823, there's some jars in the bottom right corner of the picture here. And you'll see how they kind of look the same in terms of color and levels of fluid. Serum on the left side, although it's been spun. And so the heavier red blood cells have come to the bottom and clotted there. And what's left over, if the clotting factors are down there clotting up the red blood cells, it's just serum. But that hasn't happened over here in the B jar because red blood cells are still floating around. They're down here in the bottom because they're heavier. But they could still eventually, if you let that set for a while, it would look like the one on the left. It would clot and it would eventually turn into serum on top.
Okay.
And that serum is where you get your chemistry test from. Like, what's your liver enzymes? What's your hormone levels? What's your medication levels? It's all in that serum right there. Serum is good for stat testing because they can put it in a centrifuge, make it look like tube A rapidly, like within a minute or two, draw it up, run it through a machine, and then say, okay, we know exactly what your sodium levels are and all that stuff. That's why serum is handy, and that's why it's important that you remember that it's for chemistry testing. It can be separated fast, and you can get it in a machine to learn what's inside of it. Everything I just told you basically is right here on this slide. Okay, plasma is the clotting factors. Plasma with the clotting factors removed is serum. And so you can get serum by either letting this chill out and eventually clotting, like in 30 minutes, or you can put it in a machine and spin it. So all those red blood cells and clotting factors come down to the bottom and clot, and then all you got left on top is serum.
Okay.
Good? So Brittany, what was the name of that vein on the pinky side?
The basalic?
Basilic.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to ask you guys. What?
You're gonna put the slides up, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So what I want you guys to do is review chapters 29, 30, and 31.
Okay.
We'll continue with 31 on Wednesday, same time.
Okay.
And then see where we're going at. We'll see where we're at after that, okay? and I'll work on getting you some stuff sent out in the meantime.
Okay.
29, 30, and 31.
Yeah. Make sure you're checking Evolve at least daily, because I will put a little assignment or two up there. So right now your homework is to read chapters 29, 30, and 31.
Okay.
And when you submit answers back to me, like if I send you a worksheet, I would rather you type your answers out on Word and just put that in Dropbox if you can.
Okay.
Everybody still at home from work permanently?
No, I go back Monday, Sunday, Monday. Something like that.
How about you, Brittany?
I'm off work until further notice, and I'm gonna hopefully get unemployment after this last check and take advantage of the benefits that I don't usually get to get. So
I'm waiting on my Trump check.
that too.
Lillian, what are you going to buy with your Donald dollars? She's chatting. All right. If y'all need something in the meantime, just let me know.
Okay, nice, thanks.
Let me see here. What she said.
Oh.
Oh, you didn't pay taxes, so you're not going to get a Trump check. I'll send you something nice.
Yeah, needles and fruit.
I don't know. I'll send you something better than that. Hey, can everybody agree to do one thing for me when we hang up?
What?
Email me your address.
I sent mine to you in a text.
Okay, or text it. Just please send me that. It'll save me like 30 minutes looking at people's charts and getting your addresses out.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Okay, you all. Thank you for hanging in there with me. This is a good trial class. We'll get a little bit better at it, okay?
All right. Thanks. Later,
All right.
Britt.
Well, have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.